I've read about it. I know about it. I'm sure my viewers know about you building a cult and calling yourself a god, which. Yeah.
Yo, the worst thing you can do is make kids with ugly people. It's like, fuck you, bro. Like, your ugly child is gonna look at you and you're good looking and they're gonna be like, especially if you're like a woman that like slept with an ugly fat blesser.
Oh!
It's like, mom, fuck you, bro. For like soft life, really? Now I fucking look like this? Fuck you, mom. Figure out how to become very influential, a powerful voice with an alternative story that fights against the system, rattle the system, figure out how to get crucified. You have to get crucified. You have to die.
No, bro.
You have to die.
Aye. So you're ready to die. That's what you're saying.
Cut!
Don't cut this. Do not cut this. Do not cut this. Her and she, and you know this because I've said this on your podcast.
My apologies, sir. My apologies, sir.
Such an ass. Such an ass.
What do you go by now?
I've always gone by BA Pusher.
You want to be BA?
I don't want to be BA.
No, what I say is like if I'm speaking about you, if I'm responding to you, I must be like BA.
I think I know you personally. What's my other name?
Is this like a trick question? I literally addressed you by it when I was texting you this morning.
Okay. No, but tell me.
Yo, sound rolling, camera rolling.
We've been rolling. Guys, don't cut it.
No, don't cut. I'm just saying we're rolling.
Okay, we're good.
And
We have started actually with the conversation. We have started.
Now I feel nervous.
We have started. Usually I would go, welcome to my YouTube channel, make sure that you subscribe, make sure you guys do the right thing. But one thing about you, I've seen your podcasts and you always look down on these type of things. Like when people like, you make it like a joke. Oh, welcome to my YouTube channel. Which is one thing that annoys me about watching your, like I watch every episode by the way, but it annoys me so much. Let me tell you why. Because you're not fresh when you do that. Like you're not like cool kid. Like, oh my God, you don't do the whole subscribe thing. Although you would love people to subscribe and that's why you're on YouTube, but we'll get into that. Do you take your starting Penuel show, especially with Americans, we are basically dupes of content creation. Do you feel like you doing that, you are like the dupe of the Diary of a CEO? Because he starts from get-go. He wears black and he does all of these things.
Diary of a CEO.
So I'm just saying, like, I feel like most of the context and podcasting always, like, it only got introduced to us right now as South Africans, right?
Yeah.
So I would say McG was inspired by Joe, say it now.
Pardon?
It's Joe Biden.
I don't know.
I'm thinking.
Okay, no, I don't know.
But the fact that you first thought Joe Biden.
Maybe Fresh and Fit. I don't know. The type of content they do, if I had to think of an American equivalent, I'm not sure. Because I don't really watch American content much, to be honest.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. But that's like every time I see the Diary of a CEO and the Penuel show, that's where I place it. You know?
I appreciate it, even though it's a bit disrespectful, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, but that's where I place it.
Yeah.
Like, because I feel like more could be done with when it comes to Penuel.
Yeah.
Being documented behind the scenes. Because I love the person you are behind the scenes, by the way. More than
in front of the scenes.
I'm serious. I'm dead ass. In front of the scenes, you just like, I'm like, oh, this guy. Right?
I'm amazing.
But behind the scenes, like, people don't actually get to experience you. Is it something that you would look into?
I think I'm myself. Hi guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. It's myself and Ubaba Zile. Please don't forget to click subscribe and please click on the notification bell and then please share with your friends.
Thank you. I think we're on the 11th episode. I've been lazy here. I'm sorry, guys.
Today our guest is the amazing Penuel the Black Pen. I'm sure you've seen him on his channels on.
I love your work. I love your work. Pen, let me introduce you properly.
No, you don't have to. Please, actually, please don't. I actually think it's important that you don't, because you and I have sat together. I've been making a lot of content. You've been making a lot of content. And at some point, if people actually want to know who we are, they can go research and they'll find a lot of it. I think when you're introducing someone new to like
A
podcast,
definitely.
or maybe on a new platform. Then it's kind of like, guys, this person has done really, really amazing work. If you actually go and search on Google, if you go and check on TikTok, but I think with me and you, it's slightly different. I'd like to think most of the people that are going to watch this episode will have seen us somewhere. So it's pretty chilled. What's disrespectful about comparing me to Stephen Bartlett? And Stephen Bartlett is quite well off, he's quite rich, he's done really well. He's built businesses. Is the fact that he is not my, what am I trying to say? I have not modeled myself around him at all, and I never did. I only learned about him later. The reason I don't do the click, subscribe, and is because of who I look up to. It's really as simple as that. I look down on it because the person I look up to, I feel is authentic and credible and was never chasing views, was never chasing monetization, was never trying to sell anything. So I really like that. But as I've been in the game and as the game grows in South Africa, we're a couple of years deep. I think podcasting blew up during COVID pandemic, along with TikTok, along with Zoom and Teams, because a lot of people were stuck at home. So then podcasting became the thing, and Abo McG and them really, really did well. And then other people came later. Coincidentally, Drip and Batu made a lot of money during that time as well, selling sneakers. Joe Rogan is the father for me of what we're doing. Unfair that he's an example because he was making money from UFC commentary, making money from stand-up. He'd been some kind of a celeb in America, but the type of content he was making was really, really up my alley. And my brother put me on. I wasn't into podcasts. I'm still not into podcasts. I don't watch most podcasts. I just don't have the time. But Joe Rogan and the conversation and the quality of the conversation and the depth of concepts, of story, he could bring on anyone and have an engaging conversation. I was like, this is fucking dope. This is not like, guys, please support. Please buy from me, guys. I'm a black girl. We're trying to support that. It's like, plug in, and then as soon as you get on the frequency, you're like, this is fucking dope.
But I feel like, sorry to cut you, I feel like it's kind of contradicting what you're saying right now. I'll tell you why. Immediately when someone is consistent on content, they're chasing monetization somehow. Because if people forget you, you're very consistent, by the way.
I try.
You are one of the top-notch, consistent. I fall off, right? Because when you start getting comfortable, especially having money, right?
Sure.
You get comfortable. There's no need for me to do another YouTube video and things like that because I've had content since 2020, right? So it will pay me till whenever. Yes, right? Man. Until it's not relevant anymore. I'm just saying, right? And I've monetized everything that I've done. That makes sense to me, right? So for Pen to say, like, you were never chasing views, you were not chasing monetization when you first started, 100%, right? I can't disagree with that. But your consistency and how you make your money, which we'll get into, needs you to rely on things like people understanding what you're selling. And that's why most entrepreneurs in content creation, which we'll get into again, don't monetize so well to live off content creation because of such things. Like, so that's not the message that we want to give out, to say this, like, chase your passion, chase your interview people you want to interview. The reason why you're here is because you gotta have numbers. I don't want to lie, right?
That's the only reason.
No. That's not. I've got 10 other reasons, okay? And that you're a cute guy.
I try. Right?
But I want to get into content creation. You're consistent. You're monetizing. You're doing very well. I know your numbers. I can just go to your back end and check out your numbers and see what you're doing. You think that is the type of advice that you should be giving to other content creators trying to get into the field? Or for you, it was just that? Like, you just loved what you're doing and now you don't need to be doing this because you're doing so well?
Yeah, so when I started, it was Joe Rogan, and I did add the disclaimer that the reason he could do that was because he was monetizing somewhere else. I think MacG said it on a platform before that YouTube doesn't pay that well. In South Africa, look, there's maths around it, but just for ease for people out there, you're looking at between 4 cents and 8 cents per view. Just for people to wrap their heads around, which means if you're doing 10,000 views, I think it's 800 Rand. 800 Rand that you make. And 10,000 views in South Africa is not easy. You know, it's difficult to be like, look, I think I'll just drop 5 videos a week. That's 50,000 views. Therefore, it doesn't work like that. People struggle. Some of your favorite podcasters struggle. But Joe Rogan was lucky. He hit the lottery. And the other thing is I hate using examples of outliers. So I'm not going to tell kids, go do stand-up comedy. Look at Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah is not the average stand-up comedian. Go get into hip-hop. Look at Casper Nyovest. He's not the average. When you're giving advice, you have to give advice for the average. And then where possible, try and push them to be like, look, if you really work hard, if you're really lucky, if you have an X factor, you might be like these guys. So you can work towards it. But at a very minimum, just, I think one of the best professions to aim for in terms of income in this country is a school teacher. An entry-level school teacher, depending on your diploma, degree, is take home of maybe 15,000 to 20,000. That's a good amount of money. Puts you in the top 5% of earners in this country. It's a good amount of money. You get to have government medical aid. You get to have a housing subsidy. You get to have a decent life. So in almost everything that I ask people to push for, it's normally between 10 and 20,000. But now in podcasting, it's tough to make 10K a month. Just relying on YouTube money. Over time being in this game, I realized that, look, I'm not Joe Rogan, number one. I have to have my own flavor at some point, and I need to figure out what works best. Stephen Bartlett has done really well because he's a businessman. So is Patrick Bet-David. PBD is trying to build like a proper alternative media company, almost like Gary Vee and marketing. People like Joe Rogan were very much conversation. Later on, Spotify gave him $200 million. I think they're looking to renew that, but that was not what he was pushing. As consistent as he was, he didn't monetize. There were no ads. He'd sit for 3-4 hours and no one was getting paid. But it built for him a certain cult following that you almost cannot buy. I think Dave Chappelle is similar. Dave Chappelle, who also has made a lot of money, but there'd be times where even when he speaks about it, he loved comedy so much that he was able to go find maybe 50 kids and just crack jokes and sharpen his craft. I think TD Jakes has spoken the same about preaching under trees, and because the why is important. I think your why for the last couple of years has been making money and building systems to make money. For other people, it's something else. Along the way of the why, a lot of people end up broke, soccer players, DJs, because their why is just the craft, and they never get to the point of figuring out their value, or they don't work with teams who are like, LeBron James, go do your thing, bro. I will handle everything else and I'll make sure you get paid what's best. I don't think Lionel Messi, Ronaldinho, even Cristiano Ronaldo, when they were playing football, were chasing money. But I think they managed to find the right people who are like, play football, become the greatest you can be of all time. We will make sure that you get the maximum amount of money you can get. I don't have that team, so I have to kind of be that team for myself. That's where you start studying Chris Williamson, Stephen Bartlett, Patrick Bet-David I've mentioned. Those are the guys who do things like, guys, sorry to interrupt your viewing, but please make sure that you subscribe to it and please click on the link and then use this voucher code and what, because they realized YouTube doesn't pay that well. Now, you can do a couple of things. One of them is, I want to become really popular and then I will monetize elsewhere. So it could be stand-up comedy. I think Mac G and Sol, as much as their channel is doing well, they still monetize through like DJing. I don't know. I think Mac G also monetizes through grandeur, as an example. It's like, look, even if we don't make that much money, we will make money because we are popular.
Yes.
So that's one way, which most celebrities in South Africa don't know how to do. You will become famous and poor and
1
broke. And
million
you're like,
followers,
how?
but still.
Yeah, because you don't know how to monetize and no one has taught you. The other way is obviously like brand placement. Putting brands, guys, hey, please, just want to send a shout out to our sponsors, blah, blah, blah. You know, hey, let's drink what. Other people put in like, I think it's affiliate marketing.
Yes.
About Andrew Tate and them, for example, when he blew up, which we're constantly getting schooled, but people are not learning, which is quite sad. So Tate did this thing back in the day, but it was cool because he was a controversial figure. He was letting kids chop up his content and blast because he
Like
knew...
you are right now.
So it's accidental. I think with him it was intentional.
Okay.
I think. I'm not sure.
Nah, it wasn't.
It was accidental as well.
Yes.
So accidentally, like, kids are blowing my shit up. And then when people search me, they're like, shit, this guy has like a an online school.
Yeah.
Shit, this guy sells like t-shirts, whatever the case may be. So then you start monetizing, and then you have that funnel system of people signing up, subscription, whatever the case may be. So Tate did that. I don't want to speak about Club Shay Shay yet, but just we're constantly schooled on various ways to create content, chop it up, monetize. And I'm currently in a process of trying to figure out the best way. I don't like this influencer thing.
You're still in the process. So
but I don't like this thing of interrupting and be like, hey guys, it's Penuel the Black Pen. Thank you so much for watching
let's forget
me
about
and
YouTube
be a pusher. Please click on.
You've said
please
that
check
so
in the
many
description,
times. Yeah,
whatever.
stop. They know.
No, I need to illustrate because, you know.
But they've subscribed, right? Right, guys? Thank you.
No, I'm not asking to subscribe.
No, but ask them again.
It's just
I need it. I'm not on 100K. I need the plaque. Please give me the plaque. It's been 3 years. You gave him a plaque in a year. What must I do? Yeah? Must I twerk? Tell me. Anyway, you were saying.
So that stuff makes me cringe every time I see it. But one of the things I realized is you need to figure out what business you're in. People don't know what business they are in. I ask young kids, I want to be an MC. I want to act. I want to be a musician. I'm like, do you know what business you're in? Well, acting. And that's why actors get angry. The influencers they put on screen now have no talent, what. I'm like, you guys don't know the business you're in. Fundamentally, people are not watching you for your acting ability. Fundamentally. People are watching you because there's something catchy about whatever you're doing. It could be the craft. You could be Denzel Washington. You could be Meryl Streep, Viola Davis. You could be that, which is very difficult. It's very difficult for people to watch you because of your craft. This applies in corporates as well. It's very difficult to make it up the corporate ladder purely because you're brilliant at your job. That's hard. People watch for other things, and the other things are normally entertainment. And entertainment can be broken down in so many different ways. One of them is, the reason this girl is moving up the ranks is because, Dwana, when this chick walks into the office, every nigga looks at each other like, oh, Dwana, this chick, her ass, bro. So the day we want to move team, you're like, no, I think Kathy must move with. Why? It's like, oh, guys, thank you so much for believing me. You know, I work hard. It's like, no, she's not here because she fucking works hard. It's because she's fucking hot.
Yes.
And every other potential client comes in like, whose woman is this that you guys work with? You're like, oh, Kathy. Oh, you also saw her. Other people, it's because they're funny at the office. You're like, bro, if this guy's not around when he's sick, excellent, Donna, you could come into the office. You're like, Donna, I don't make money at the office, but I make it nice here. So when it comes to what we call attention capital,
yes,
platforms, YouTube, TV, SABC, multi-choice, TikTok, they are fighting for eyes and ears.
Constantly.
Attention capital. The business you're in is, can you keep people's attention for long enough? And while you're there, then at the back end, people are like, there are 20 million people's eyes and ears here. This is where you're like, guys, please buy whatever.
Yes.
Have you seen the latest, the new and improved? If you buy 2 for 1, that's the business you're in. Because that's the business that pays you.
Yes.
You act, you're Viola Davis, you're amazing. The production company has to pitch to a commissioning editor at SABC to be like, well, take your show. That show needs to have viewer ratings, how many people are watching. Why? So that they can sell ads. You're selling ads to businesses who are like, look, we're trying to make money, and apparently people like you. And apparently when people are watching you, we can place ourselves there, and then we can make money. That's the business you're in. So the question is, how do you retain people's interest? And then there's different ways to do that. You can literally ask people, guys, please donate to my Patreon. Guys, please subscribe to my what? You're asking. That's nice. Or you can do the tough thing of being really dope. And now the dope thing is tough. Or you can do the cheat codes.
Yes.
Why do people want to talk about, oh, dog, do you see when he fucking cheated on that chick and then he smashed him with a fucking ball on the face and there was blood everywhere and you're like, yo.
Is that the cheat code?
The cheat code is sensationalism. It's whatever's trending. You already know Bafana's trending. So let's speak about Bafana. You already know what else is trending right now? Israel and Palestine. So let's speak about Israel and Palestine. Then you start looking for scoops and gossip. You're like, yo, Kifi Boo and her fake lobolo, what. Yo, there's so many chicks, dog, who lie about, you know, I remember my aunts, dog, like called the whole family and people are like, ha, so that's, you know, that's people's interest. You and I could start slapping you now on camera and people are like, dude, this can't be real.
Yes.
And then later on you make a video, fuck this nigga Black Pen. I just come from getting stitched. I saw him, but I didn't think he was violent. Now I was like, yo, black pen actually fucks people up, whatever.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it's that thing. Those are cheats. The hardest stuff is actually being dope
Do you
at
think
conversation.
the 1 million subscribers was a cheat?
It's not a cheat. There's a formula.
Okay, that was set in.
The YouTube algorithms keep changing, which is pretty dope. And shout out to Mr. Beast. Because Mr. Beast is actually a teacher and an activist for us to actually make it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Shout out to him. Very few content creators are actually very big on giving game. You're one of them. I know DJ Smooth's tried. I try. But a guy like Mr. Beast doesn't have to. But he's constantly trying to give game. The algorithms are constantly changing. But myself and Utibo Khokibine, who's my partner at the Penuel show, we'd have these debates on why certain episodes do better than others and why certain channels do better than others. And I'm convinced that I'm right. He's obviously convinced that he's right. And I told him that when you look at it, when people ask, bro, how do you do 100,000 subscribers in? I can pinpoint like 5 episodes that got us to 100,000. That's it. And if I'd only done those 5, we'd still be at 100,000.
Yeah.
And when people are like, oh, it's consistent. Nah. The consistency helps.
Yes.
It's like showing up at work but I can be drunk at work and get disciplinary hearing after disciplinary hearing. I was found with cocaine at work. And then the one day, on the day where they're like, look, today's the day we're actually firing you. I'm like, I've just signed 50 million for the company. So I don't know. They're like, shit. They're like, look, we'd like to give you a directorship. Would you like to be a partner?
Yes.
And people are like, why the fuck him? There are people that are partners of audit firms, law firms, that become directors in banks purely because of the business they bring. My dad is Cyril.
Yeah.
My aunt is the marketing executive of ShopRite. My best friend actually just built a fucking great app, which they just sold for $20 million to some guy in Silicon Valley. So I bring money. The fact that I fucking flirt with the chicks at work, the fact that
it doesn't matter.
I'm like, what are you guys doing? Oh, this is actually what the company does. I'm like, oh shit, that looks dope. You're like, bro, you're a director here and you're telling me you don't know. It's like, bro, I make sure you get paid.
That's it.
Who the fuck cares? You guys, when I rock up, you mean to be like, hey, Penzo, this fucking nigga's here. Because I'm the fucking reason there's a company in the first place.
I believe in this, right? You're very smart. Right? No, I feel like you're smart. You're like one of those kids I went to school with, right? Because I was not the smartest kid in class, right? And I knew it, but I always knew that I was gonna make more money than all the smartest kids in class, because smart people work for people like me, right?
I'm the smart person that works for people. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
It was a compliment, but yeah.
No, I'm just saying. Take it how you want to take it, but it's facts.
Kiyosaki
right?
says A students work for C students.
I'm the C student, and I've always known this, and not because I was taught this, but the way that you guys are so smart is that most people like you are the thinkers. You wanna think about things, right? You wanna analyze things. You're wasting time. People like me are like, okay, that needs to be sold. Let's sell it. You want strategies of how to sell it, where to sell it, the market, that's me, right?
Yeah.
So that's why you would work for me. Do you believe the reason why, which I can show you right now, like my 3 million views make me 200K? I can show you. I can pull it up. 3 million views make me 200K, right? Podcasting will never make money. Obviously, the CPM on talking about money will make way more money, right? And I feel like that's why I've been watching, like I say, I love the Penuel show.
Bit of a stalker. Obsessed fan.
I love the
Stan.
I'm Stan. So I see the direction you're going to,
Yeah.
right? You're educating your audience right now.
Yeah.
That's where you're going. I was watching the lady, I don't know if it's, I forgot her name, Lelo.
Lelo N.
Lelo N, yes, about property. So that's where you're moving, understanding. That's why I say you're a smart guy. You understand what you're doing. My thing is, what are you monetizing in? Are you making the money that you're spending so much time? Because this is all money, right? This is money. Those cameras are very expensive, especially the cameras that you use. Your staff, you have to feed your staff, you have to do all of these things, and it will come out of your pocket. When do you stop and say, okay, it's enough? Or you already have this? Because smart people, I know you guys, you're very calculated, right? But you're not action takers. That's the other thing.
That's correct.
Right? So you have calculated by this time I should have done this, and it's going to go this. You have that. I know for a fact that you already have that. I'm not a stalker.
Stan.
I'm telling you.
Dear Stan.
I have employed only smart people. People that work for me, graduates.
Dear Slim. Hey, shout out to Slim.
Shout out to Slim. Best producer ever. Right? So I'm saying to you, what are you monetizing in? How are you making your money? And I know that you are the type of guy that wants to make 10 million. You're not like me. I want to make 200, 400. You understand? You want to make, and you already know where you're going with this whole thing. You have a plan. What is it?
So I can't say no to that now.
You can't.
Then I don't know.
Come
I
on.
want to finish the point on the algorithms and those things because I think it's important
Yes,
from an
of
education
course.
perspective. You asked about podcast and chill and doing 1 million subscribers. I do believe it's probably like 20 interviews that they did. One of them bring Israel Matseke Zulu. One of them bring Julius Malema. One of them,
Black Coffee.
it was afterwards. Black Coffee, Ushebe Shit came afterwards. There's a couple of episodes that they've done that have really pushed people because people subscribe. And I think at some level, people don't really rush to unsubscribe. So people kind of stay and they kind of hope for something really dope again. And I've kind of had the same. Vusi Tembiwai was one. Dr. Uma Ifatunde was another one.
Oh, I loved it.
Recently now, Joshua Maponga.
Yo, bro, sorry to stop.
Yeah.
Can you get Vusi, bro? Like, that's my ultimate goal. Like, if I can give... You got his contacts. Like, this is how this thing all works. Like, I know he's never going to come, but it's a possibility. It's a possibility.
Why would you do that?
It's a possibility if you speak to him. That's how the whole... that's how the whole network goes. Like, this one speaks to DJs Booze like Pen. It's a whole thing. Yeah, one. Who do you know?
So this is where the education comes from as well, right? So I have a couple of secret powers, superpowers. And sometimes I let people in. The sad thing is people don't listen. It's almost like Mr. Beast, like giving people game, like, yo, and then they don't do it. I genuinely care about people.
I believe that.
And it's nice to say, but it's how I build relationships. And there are people that care about money. And people that care about money may attract money, but they may repel people. I attract people because I care about people. And I make sure that when I'm with people, they feel that I care about them. I've visited a lot of podcasts and I realize most people are chasing numbers. And what we're generally doing is I'm being fucked. It's a prostitution transaction. Bend over pen, let me fuck you and let me hope that, whatever. It's like, oh, okay, cool. And it translates. It translates. It's the reason why people listen, why they stay, I made the football example. So Ronaldinho is, for me, my favorite footballer of all time. Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo alternate for me. But Messi is known as the GOAT, especially now because he's got a World Cup. Ronaldinho is a purest football lover. Even when he's not getting paid, even off the field, even when he catches a ball and he does whatever he does with it, and people can see it. And beyond winning games for Barcelona, beyond winning games and World Cups for Brazil, people fell in love with that. And it's very difficult to buy that. And it's very difficult to sustain that as well. For many reasons, Vusi Tembiwai wanted to come to my platform. I had invited him before. He was meant to sit with myself and DJ Sbu. I invited him to the Hustlers Corner and he was busy at the time. He was in Dubai at some point. I even struggled when he was supposed to come on my platform because I think we had to reschedule 2-3 times. The reality is that he's busy. I've realized people in places like Johannesburg, high performance people are busy. Everyone is texting them. Everyone is trying to sit with them. They have a lot of appointments. They sometimes are unavailable in the geography that you're in. It's really difficult. And Vusi is in demand. And Vusi is also a very smart guy. So he really tries to consider where
Why?
he goes. You know what I mean?
I think you also get to that point because I've been also invited to a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
And you can see that, okay, this is someone starting up a podcast,
Yeah.
right? Dude, you haven't shot enough to even invite me on your podcast, right? So I know exactly why you want me on your podcast, right?
Shortcut.
Yeah, definitely. But also, I understand that I could be just that one, how can I be, interview that could change the whole chain. But I need to see the work first, right?
Sure.
So
That's
if I see
important.
the work first,
That's important.
then I would say, okay, I'll come in. Because what happens is I'm going to come in and then you're going to give up in a month or two because this was not for you.
Of course.
Everybody just wants to be a podcaster.
Of course.
Because it's a cool thing to do. Now you've wasted my time that I
Sure.
could have used somewhere else, you know? So it all depends because I think we had this discussion over WhatsApp on some, I want you on my show. I'll also love you on my show. But you always stated like, what is the conversation? It's very important to tell me what the conversation is. Otherwise, anyone can just Google what conversation we're going to have.
Sure.
Because I've been having these conversations. Sure. So I want us to revert back because there's a lot that we have said. But on this podcast, which is the blueprint, right? I need your blueprint, right? We can talk about Ronaldinho, Vusi Tembakwayo, all the shits, right?
Yeah.
But I needed to keep it to, if you come to the blueprint, this is what you're getting. Because everybody that comes to the blueprint or comes to the Penuel show, they know they're going to get, I don't know what direction you're going, but when I watch the Penuel show, I'm always like, dang, right? That's another schooling that I didn't know or I didn't look at it that way. It's always another, English, British class that you never get to experience, right? On your show. That's your show.
Sure.
My show, I know you're very confused. Don't worry.
English, British class.
Yeah, there's a British class.
Okay.
English, British class.
Keep going.
My show is, this is Penuel.
Yeah.
This is what Penuel does.
Yeah.
This is, to get to where Penuel is, this is the blueprint. Finishing class. That's it. Right? That's my show. You tell me, I'm a content creator or I am a businessman. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a speaker. I have done 1, 2, 3. I would have never done 1, 2, 3. To get where I am, a little bit quicker, a little bit faster, avoid 1, 2, 3.
Sure.
That's what I need.
I'm giving it to you. Are you missing it?
No. I'm not missing it. I'm just saying.
Oh, no.
I was like, we're going from
dope.
the Vusi Tembakwayo situation, which you're going to hook me up, by the way. Anyway, I heard all the stuff you were saying.
It's not for me to hook you up. It's that same thing you were saying, that people watch your track record. Certain people watch your track record. It's why certain people DM me. It's why certain people want to sit with me. And I just, unfortunately, don't have time. But it's that, and it's very important. And I think a very important lesson, which we've raised, but I need to raise again, especially for new podcasters. Mr. Beast said this out of frustration. Mr. Beast said, when I started speaking about how I grew my channel into whatever it was, I was hoping that kids would be inspired to learn from me and then go and do their thing and be dope.
And not do what I do.
I wasn't expecting them to try and mimic Mr. Beast. What the fuck? So, Vusi Tembakwayo is just an example. There are certain guests that certain new podcasters have access to that we will never have access to. Part of them being their parents, part of them being Itaima in their neighborhood. They've got stories that we'll never know, that they know are cool. You almost have to think about, let's say you're a kid in Alex, you're a kid in Matateni, where I was born, and you're sitting around, you're like, I want to start a podcast. I'm going to start with 10 conversations. Think of the 10 coolest chats you've ever had in your own life, whether it's with a school teacher, whether it's your best friend, and call your friend, be like, Dwana, I want us to speak about this story. Because I thought it was dope, and maybe other people will find it to be dope. And then you grow from there, number one. And then, again, it's cliche, but be yourself. It's the weirdest thing. I think I told the story last year. So I was in China, in Ningbo, with my daughter, Africa. Africa's wanted to be a singer for a while. And when she was still living with me in South Africa, when she'd sing, myself and my mom would kind of coach her, like show some life,
Come on.
you know, get in there, you know, make people, you know, okay, a bit of dancing. So I asked her to sing and she started singing and it was almost monotone. She was singing and her voice was a bit bland and I was like, no, man. So I'm going to need to recoach and retrain this kid. And then right at that point, I had a light bulb moment. I was like, but why am I trying to turn her into something else?
That you've seen.
This might be her. She may not be Beyonce. She may be Billie Eilish. And I asked her right then, I'm like, give me your 3 favorite artists that you really like. And I'm like, we're going to work towards that. You can be lame. You can be... Adele doesn't dance. Other people maybe don't have X Factor. Some people don't even show themselves on screen. For the longest time, Usia was not on screen. And she's fucking dope. So I was like, let's try and find... Because it's one of the ways that I think people should work. For me, it's Joe Rogan, and then I can maybe add Lex Friedman and a couple of other guys. These are the people I'm trying to work towards. Let me kind of see how they moved. Let me emulate some. Let me put it in the South African context and find these people and be like, this is how we're going to sculpt your brand. Not this thing of, yeah, but you know who's popping is like Nicki Minaj. So we need to get you pink hair and let's see if we can get you a big booty because, you know, sex sells. So let's put some, you know.
Yeah.
And then your videos are going to do well, but it's going to be like Will Smith and Willow, where Willow, right after Whip My Hair, was fucking bumping around the world. She cut her hair off. She was protesting. She's like, this is not me. I whip my hair. She's like, it was cool, but I'm done. Can we do the next thing?
Yeah.
It's like, no, but this is the brand. This is not my brand.
This is what you created.
And that's why those things don't last. That's why Joe Rogan, Oprah Winfrey, and those guys have lasted for so long because they were like, I will figure out who I am and then I will be myself and then we'll see how we can get people to watch me. And then where I need to, maybe I'll give a shout out to this. I want to thank our sponsors. Here and there, I'll sell out a little bit, you know, for the need of feeding the crew and all those things. But people always come back to me. And I think that's so important to young kids out there. Don't try and get Vusi. Don't try and get Joshua Maponga. Don't try and get Nota. You've got a Nota in your life. You've got a Vusi Temboa in your life. Umfundisi in your area is probably really dope. There's probably like a drunkard, like your uncle, who tells you the craziest stories. Their gender network was fucking dope in that because they went and they found criminals, ex-convicts, and they were like, bro, how did you fucking get in jail? Tell us. And these guys are like, yo, sasayizol namachita. Sikhawathekile awazivitha ama-out ukuthi sikhawathekile asinanyuku uPenzo siqala i-podcast buka lo mjito uPenzo siyacala no ntwana yabo uPenzo ngathi khona la iyakhona so yabo masingamtholile equipment ntwana yami kodwa manje asinanyuku sithi no ntwana yethu ngathi yaya some and you're like that is authentic. So you need to try and figure out what is authentic about my life. It's what the Kardashians got right. My family is fucking boring. Really? How boring? Very boring. Show us. You're like, yeah, but your brother's kind of funny. No, he's not. He's annoying. Oh, he annoys you. We fucking like that.
Yeah.
Every time he annoys you, like, I fucking hate this guy. When you do your diary entries, like, fuck my brother. Fuck that nigga. I wish he wasn't my brother. You're like, I can identify because my brother fucking annoys me.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden we're plugging into you in your life.
I think that's where... yeah, I love that. I think that's where you also... I think you touched on you are for the people. And I think that's what you're building. And I asked you for your idea, which you'll give me a little bit later on some. What are you building for the future?
Yeah.
What do you see for the future? I don't want to touch too much on your cult because honestly, I've read about it. I know about it. I'm sure my viewers know about you building a cult and calling yourself a god, which... Hallelujah. Yeah, like, I can't say anything about that. So I just want to say this. So, you know what? One thing about building a cult, and I've always said, and I've seen it, like, the higher you go, the more enemies you make, right? And never ever think that people won't turn on you, right? No matter, like, dude, I've been giving game, like you said. If you go back to my videos. In 2020, I've been giving game for free. I was not getting paid by nobody. Straight facts. You know what I'm saying? For years. Yeah. And when
you're actually underappreciated, I just want to say. You're underappreciated, and I want to say thank you so much.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Coming from you, right? So, and then when you start getting to a level where you're like, okay, guys, I need to get out of this now, you know. I need to better myself and you know what I'm saying. You get people slowly but surely, you know. And it like as I was watching your podcast with Vusi, he said that the wheel turns. Doesn't matter what you do. You can't stop it from turning, right? You will get to a point where you are being booed on X now. That's what they call it. I'm not on X, by the way. Or you are trending for just a small thing.
Yeah.
But people have been waiting for that one day
Yeah,
they get their chance. They say, yeah, vele.
Yeah.
How we knew it. This one. The way he was looking at girls and what. He is a rapist.
Sure.
Right? As much as you believe in people, and this is one thing I've learned as I went, right? Because I feel like people started relying on me so much that they feel like I am their gate, I'm their ticket to getting out of poverty.
They felt entitled to you giving them information.
Because I did it and I didn't ask for anything.
Yeah.
Because you would see people tag each other now on TikTok. That's why I don't post anymore. Like, no, just go to Pusha. Pusha will give it to you for free.
Sure.
That one is charging you for that? Pusha will give it to you for free.
Sure.
Right? If you believe in people this much, right, and with everything that you're doing and building your cult and having what you having to you need to eat, Pen, at the end of the day. You're a human. You have a family. You have 8 kids.
You always go back to money.
Yeah, always. Kanti, what show is this? Is this the Pen show?
Let me lean forward.
Buffett, what show is this?
Let me lean forward. Please finish so I can give you an answer.
Right? You have to eat.
Yeah,
you have to do all these things. You have 8 kids, 10.
Yes.
How many kids do you have now?
Depends on who you ask on X.
Right?
I may have 50. But officially from me, because I love my children very much. I kind of live for my children. I have 7 children.
And you have beautiful.
Now.
That I've always said, ne?
Yeah, thank you.
All your posts. Like,
no,
one
look,
thing about
I made sure with the moms.
Yeah.
Yo, the worst thing you can do is make kids with ugly people. It's like, fuck you, bro. Like, your ugly child is going to look at you and you're good looking and they're going to be like, especially if you're like a woman that like slept with an ugly, fat blesser.
Oh,
it's like, mom, fuck you, bro. For like soft life, really? Now I fucking look like this? Fuck you, mom. Yes. So your parents did you well. Me, I'm going to give you a half gorilla because of an iPhone. Shit. Anyways, sorry. So yeah, thanks for the kids, man. I tried with the moms. Good-looking moms, smart moms, independent moms. I was quite intentional.
I'm not gonna get into that. But
actually, make sure who you have kids with, Bobby. It's a tough world out there.
Yeah.
Kids are not nice.
They're not nice, ne?
Kids are. You guys know you're in primary school.
kids are not nice to kids.
So,
going back to what I was.
sorry, kids.
No,
kids.
It's fine. It's fine, kids. I like I said, you have beautiful.
You're saying my kids need to eat
and your kids need to eat and you need to grow. Essentially, all this revolves around money. We can go back and forth about this. What happens if you say your business has been built, which I've seen it with, well, people are failing to do what they want to do, I feel, with Podcast and Chill. I feel like they really want to
Podcast and Chill.
I'll tell you.
Are you speaking about Podcast and Chill specifically?
No. With MacG. Let's say it like that.
Oh, are you saying there's something wrong with Podcast and Chill?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying people are failing to do what they really want to do.
Who's failing?
Okay, I'm gonna go back.
Okay.
Let me go back. You're saying you're building, right? Most of your business is what you do. It's for the people that you serve, right? And we agree that people can turn anytime.
Correct.
If a story comes out of you right now, go to where not.
Yeah.
That's if you're building.
Why are
your
you using
business,
that word? The algorithms.
Oh.
Sorry, but anyways,
My
please
editor
go
is here.
Will you
My
bleep
editor,
it out?
Yeah, we'll bleep it out.
But how will you bleep it out? Because people must know.
No. But the people can hear what we're talking about.
We must come up with slang. Sorry, just for people to know. Like the algorithms
That's why I
actually
said,
pick up.
Yeah, I said something else.
And then your video doesn't reach.
Yeah, no.
Sorry. Please carry on.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll be accused of something heinous.
Exactly.
Yeah, like Harvey Weinstein.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you have built your business off people. I built my business off the internet. So you can't cancel me.
And systems.
And systems.
Yeah.
You can't cancel me.
Very important.
You can do whatever you want to do. You can go. Push as what? I'm still making money. I wake
And
up.
you don't even know.
Exactly. You could
Yeah.
be buying from me
Yeah.
unintentionally.
Yeah.
My exes are probably buying from me right now.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
Hey.
If you go and take a lot, it could be my product.
Alright.
You and your husband. Anyway,
Hey.
I'm just saying. So if you're building your
Hey.
systems, I mean your where you make money, or where you feed your family and all of this through people,
Yeah.
aren't you scared that one day, right? Like I said, they're not getting it right with podcast and chill, because there are people that are just waiting for that day. They've been, but they're failing because the chillers are so, chillers
Loyal.
are
It's like EFF.
loyal. Yeah, it's like
supporters.
EFF. Because you are coming up and you're building your cult and things
Yeah.
like that. In this period that we are in,
Yeah.
one mistake, that's it. People are now not watching your podcast.
Sure.
They're not doing, because you're building your business off
People.
abantu.
Sure.
Can you?
Yeah. Let me go back.
Your turn.
Leaning forward.
Sure.
I've plugged people before. I'm going to plug them again.
Let's go.
Coincidentally, I was on Podcast and Chill. There's a channel called Living L'Chaim. It used to be called Kosher Money, hosted by Eli Langer. And he sits with many, many Jewish people on there, really, really dope, teaching people about money. It's almost like the blueprint. He sits with one of my favorite teachers online, Rabbi Manis Friedman. And Rabbi Manis Friedman speaks about money, and Eli is almost asking him, how do Jews get it right with the money and all those things? And I'm going to take what Rabbi Manis Friedman said, process it, and articulate it the way it hit me. But people can go and watch that sit down and take it however he said it. Rabbi Manis Friedman asks, why of all the animals in the world are humans the only ones that need to make money to get by? Why do I'm hungry. I want to have a sandwich. Oh, that means I must go and do something to make money to get a sandwich. When a monkey is hungry, they just climb a tree and get an apple. When a lion is hungry, they hunt an animal and they eat. Why do human beings have to go for this money thing? It seems complicated, and I think he calls it cruel and unusual punishment. And he says, in his opinion, he believes that God gave us money as a way to get us to interact with each other. Because if it wasn't for money, you'd only interact with people that you know and you trust within a closed circle. If you're hungry, you'd go to your mom, you'd go to your father, you'd go climb a tree. There'd never be a need for you to interact with someone that sells sandwiches. You wouldn't need to go into a shop that's owned by another race, another nationality. You wouldn't need to go and buy a car from someone you've never met. And this was God's way to get us to interact with strangers. This money thing. That's his opinion. The more important part he speaks about is this. Money is energy. Money is spirituality. I never understood that. I'd hear people say it. I'd be like, shut up, man. It's whatever. He was saying, this is how I took it. This is not how he says it. This is how I took it. He says the reason Jewish people are so stingy with money, because there's a joke that Jewish people are stingy with money, is because Jewish people understand that for me to make my money took a piece of my life. It took me a piece of my life, and you're asking for a piece of my life. If I'm giving you a piece of my life, please can you also give me a piece of your life? Now, you're asking for money, which I had to work hard for. What can you give me that is a piece of your life? This is where you can go back to bartering. It takes me however long to herd my cattle, to immunize them, to make sure they don't get eaten by wild animals, to every day in the kraal, whatever. You every day have to get into your garden and weed it and water the cabbage and make sure that it's protected from the sun. So when I meet you and I give you a piece of steak and you give me your cabbage, we are exchanging life. And a lot of Jewish people and many other people, I know Elon Musk is not a fan of charity. Steve Jobs used to pride himself that he's never donated to charity. It's like, I can't just give you something for what? And people don't understand that. So I understand that, like, people like myself, so-called smart people, we suffer from analysis paralysis. We overanalyze. We never get to anything. That's why it's important actually to collaborate with each other. You guys as the doers, we as the people that work for you, A students working for C students. But it's obviously dependent on how you work it, because you might find that even as a smart person, I might consult for like 20 people. But even historically, when you look at the philosophers and how they influenced politics, how the world is governed, etc., there are people that go around priding themselves, I'm a doer, I build businesses. But the reality is you actually need the smart people. The smart people obviously need to stop thinking that they are doers because they're not, and collaborate with other people. I'm constantly going through this process of trying to figure out, not necessarily moving towards doing, but trying to figure out if I'm giving my life to people. Could be education via podcasting. It could be meeting up with people. It could be connecting you with Uvusi Tembekwayo. I'm giving you a piece of my life. You don't know what it cost in my life to get Uvusi. You might be like, you said to do Vusi. And the reason I said to do Vusi is because he's listened to me speak 50 times. And what he was listening to me speaking to is stuff that I studied at varsity, books I'd read, people I'd had conversations with, people places I traveled to in the world. And when I touched on those points, that's what captured him. And now you're asking me, hey, dog, just send me his number. And I'm like, okay, I'll give you a big part of my life. But then
what do I get in return?
You must give me your life. Almost your equivalent at the very least. People that understand money and energy, it's called exploitation, but it's just the knowledge of the energy. I know I'm giving you my life, and whatever you're willing to give me may be way more than what I'm giving you. I may not even be giving you my life. I might have employees and they give of their life, and I'm giving you some of their life, and you're giving me like your real life. So in Living L'Chaim, and what Rabbi Manis Friedman was preaching to me is, very importantly, understanding that money is energy and spirituality. What that means is that money comes at the cost of life. Try and figure out how much your life is worth, whether it's monetary or otherwise, and make sure that when you're transacting with people, before you give them a piece of your life that you're never going to get back, they must give you a piece of their life. And that's why I've had to rewire my thinking around just giving game, just being Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan kind of won the lottery. Dave Chappelle with his $60 million comedy specials kind of won the lottery. For the rest of us, you almost can't build with the, I hope one day multi-choice comes and gives me 100 million for the Penuel show, because you don't know. In the interim, do I get enough just seeing people's life change? Yes, no. You might be happy just to be like, yo, babe, Pusha, thank you so much. Because of you, I can feed my family. Like, I can rest easy because of this. Or you're like, look, I've got a team that needs to work. So I'm actually going to start telling people, guys, look, our equipment costs money. Our time costs money. While you're watching us, yes, we know you're using your data and stuff, but your data doesn't pay for what we're doing. So we kind of need more. Yes, we know you're getting it for free and you can get it for free somewhere else, but I can tell you now that'll only go so far. Now we can ask you to donate, or we can be like, if you cannot donate, please rather buy whatever I'm selling. Or please share this, because if I can get more shares, I can make more money. In the absence of that, then you do what you're speaking about, which some of us do and we don't speak about it because we know people are trying to cancel us at any given time. You build systems in the background. How can you afford to go overseas? How can you? And you're like, hey, I think I'm just lucky. But those are the businesses that don't need the hype because you can build the systems. For me, I have people that are not on camera that actually fucking believe in me. They can turn on me at any given time, but it's because I know what parts of my life I give to them. And they know that if they lose me, they lose whatever I'm bringing. And that could be people. So I made an example earlier about I'm the drunkard, always playing golf partner in the firm, and then you fire me. And then you go to the clients. Look, everything will remain as the same, we'll make sure that the team, what, and then I move to another firm. And then I go to the person who knows what I've given them in my life. And they come to you and they're like, sorry, we're going to have to cancel the contract. What do you mean we're going to go with that agency? But they're small. They don't even have the capacity. It's okay. Why? Because there's no way I'll ever let that guy down. There's a story, Alexander Thompson Pine, one of my favorite entrepreneurship stories. It's a guy, his grandfather was a politician in South America. He studied in business school in America, decided after that to move to China. During the day, do import-export. At night, be studying Mandarin so that he can master Mandarin, including the culture, so that he can hack Chinese people and get the best deals. He was recruited by a guy in New York who was distributing cell phones at the time around the world. The guy was like, I like you. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? The guy was like, I see myself being you and being a dollar billionaire. He worked with the guy for 5 years, became a multimillionaire, and he stumbled upon a country called Angola in South Africa, in Africa. And he realized this is virgin terrain. They have nothing here. They don't have ATMs. They don't have smartphones. They don't have electricity, coupons. So he was like, this is where I'm going to settle and build. And he built his wealth there. And some of the key politicians he met, he tells us one example of one of the politicians, this guy was getting married. I was in Europe somewhere and I saw this dress. Very expensive. From this country, it was one of a kind. When I came back and I gifted this guy this dress. I was like, I saw this dress. I told him the story. I think it would look great for your wife at your wedding. And he's like, that gesture for that guy, he'll never forget. And whenever I do business, doesn't matter who's trying to bribe him. There's no bribe worth how he saw his wife wearing that dress that comes with that story. And that dress comes from me. It's one of the things I think a lot of black people don't understand about the relationships with white people. White people don't want to let us in. What? You're like, look, maybe there's racism. Very plausible. But then there's Uba Pusha aged 60. And this talented 25-year-old white kid, American kid is like, put me on merit. I'm better than Pen. The fuck? And you're like, you don't know where Pen and I have been. There were times I didn't have a place to sleep and I crashed this place. There was a time my podcast wasn't bumping. It's like, come to my fucking shit, man. And we'll see what we can do. Look, BA Pusha can have their own podcast on my platform. And you're like, you can't buy that. Even if Pen stabs me in the back, whatever, if he ever needs anything. Okay. So for that reason, every single year, this contract you have to give out. If you want to work with me, go meet with Pen. Yeah, but he's the competitor. Maybe he'll subcontract with you. Those are relationships built over 50 years, sometimes generations. Our families went to the same mosque. My dad married off your aunt. Like
Jewish relationships.
You can't buy that. And some people understand that. So that's what I mean by people. I don't mean people in general, but we do build the systems. I'm doing the people and the systems. I remember Gary Vaynerchuk saying, some people come and say, why do you work hard? I work smart. Gary V was like, I fucking work hard and smart. What now? So some of us do the people thing and we do the systems thing. So people are fucked. And they can try cancel us, but they won't win. I am trying to be uncancelable. Joe Rogan has been tested. Dave Chappelle has been tested. Kanye West has been tested. And they become my blueprint for how to move so that the day I'm accused of a heinous, look what you were doing with little boys. They will try and do whatever. And they're like, how is this guy still doing it? How are people still listening to R. Kelly? It's because he won our hearts in a way that you can't explain. Jacob Zuma. But he should go to jail. It's like, even if Zuma stole 500 billion, we still want him over you. But look at what R. Kelly did. You're like, Kels, leap of faith. Step in the name of love.
I believe I can fly.
I believe I can fly.
Yeah.
Baba. Never. So I'm trying to win with both at the very least. I'm trying to win people's hearts because this makes me a cult leader. But I'm trying to do the systems thing. And because I'm smart and I'm over analytical, my systems are not being built by me, but built by people like, let's say, like you. So we'll have the contracts. And even when I get cancelled, I'm like, look, we've got it on paper. Vodacom, please call me. Hopefully not. But I'm going to keep making money and I'll be okay, I hope. And I don't need money. That's another superpower that I don't speak about as much as I should. I do not need money. And because of that, Steve Biko, Chris Hani, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Jesus Christ, when they couldn't be bought, they realized the only thing left was to take the life. The guy he can't be bought and is uncancelable. Nelson Mandela was a terrorist. Can't be bought, uncancelable. So we have to try
Nelson
and
Mandela can't be bought? Anyway.
Nelson Mandela could not be bought. We can debate it on another day.
Okay.
But his wealth, Simon Sinek speaks about this. He's an amazing speaker. He's like, what value do you put on Nelson Mandela and Mother Teresa? There's a guy that's going to come, and this is one of the things people don't understand. Let's say about Vusi, but I know billionaires in this country that sit with me. And there are guys, I've met rich white guys. I've met rich white guys from good family.
Rich, like rich.
Not rich, just rich.
Just rich.
Maybe they make 5 million, 10 million a year. I've met rich white guys, and they're like, bro, I've tried for so long to sit with that guy. Why did he sit with you? Why did he sit with you? And I'm like, there's something I have that your money is not good
Bought.
enough for.
Yeah.
Nelson had that. And it transcended like Africa and. So, by the way, I know I'm speaking a bit much now.
No, go
Nelson Mandela's figured out, or I don't know if he figured it out, but people have figured out the arc of a story. People love story. Story is everything.
Yes.
There's the story of Jesus Christ being crucified and him being resurrected. And one of the stories, I think it was Joshua Maponga told me when I was visiting his home, if you can figure out in your life, depending on how big you want to become, if you want to become really big, figure out how to become very influential, a powerful voice with an alternative story that fights against the system, rattle the system, figure out how to get crucified. You have to get crucified. You have to die.
No, bro.
You have to die.
Yeah.
And then you need to be resurrected. The resurrection is where now even people that didn't believe start believing. Nelson Mandela died. The guy was gone. He's a terrorist, CIA. He was done for. And then he resurrected at like age 70 and became one of the greatest leaders of all time with fucking forgiveness. What the fuck? Quotes on quotes on quotes. There's a guy who tried it now. I don't know how successful he is. I don't think it really worked, but he was trying.
Who's this?
Andrew Tate. Very influential, big voice, rattled the system, and then he died in prison. But it didn't really work. And now he's being resurrected now, but it's like...
Andrew Tate
100
is
shooter.
probably the biggest in e-commerce in my industry.
Biggest.
Huge.
So Kanye West has tried to do the same. Also crucified. Even now with this anti-Semitic thing.
Yes,
If you want to be great, Steve Jobs got fired from Apple.
of course.
You have to die. So at some point, somewhere in the story, it could be Donald Trump going $5 billion into debt. You have to die where people are like, she's finished.
No more BA pusher.
Shit. That thing you
yeah,
must be about, we knew it. Wow.
We knew it. She sucked.
When
I've died, bro.
When you resurrect, you must come back from fucking Russia. And Vladimir Putin must be like, BA pusher. And you're like, who the fuck is this? That's when people are like, And even people that didn't believe in you. Jacob Zuma was crucified a couple of times. People that were like, he's done for, start saying, hey,
He might just.
I don't know anymore. I actually don't know
really do
anymore. So that's one of the cheats in life. One of my cheats is I really don't need money. And I cannot be cancelled in real time. My children don't love me because of what I can provide. Any women in my life don't love me because of what I can provide.
Oof. Come on. How do you do it? Because I know everybody that love me, they love me because of what I can provide except my mama. That's it. All of y'all niggas.
Why does your mama love you?
Sorry?
Why does your mom love you?
My mom loves me because Ubabazi, this can get dog and slap with the only heir to her.
Because you're her child.
Not really because I'm her child. I think a mother's love, it can never be described. You can only feel it.
As we try and figure out the algorithms, try and figure that out because that's what cult leaders get right. That's what gets people praying and crying for Bushiri on the street, that. And they call him names like Papa. And they call Jacob Zuma Ubaba, Utata, Mandela, Mother Teresa. Figure that out. When you figure that out, that it doesn't matter what it takes. I will give my life because this person is bigger than me. They are my mom, my dad, my child. Once you figure that out, that's when you start really, really hacking minds. That's when you like go to a Muslim guy, you're like, bro, 100,000 rand right now, piece of bacon. And it's like, that's haram. Sorry.
I'm sorry, I can't.
And you're like, bro, it's just a piece of bacon. And they're like, this, for me, the Quran, Allah, Prophet Muhammad, and what he represented, you would unfortunately have to take my life.
Oof.
And you're like, yo, for a piece of bacon. Come on, the bacon is delicious. So once you can figure that out, you start moving. Joshua Maponga's on that part. Vusi Tembawa is trying to get on that part. Sadhguru's there.
I love Vusi, but he's never going to get there. I can tell you now.
It's debatable.
I can tell you now.
It's debatable.
I love Vusi. Like, I love Vusi.
So again, the other, like I said, he needs to be crucified.
in order for him to.
No, it must be crucified. People get crucified. People like lose money. And you're like, hey, Ndonia Kumbula, hey. You have to resurrect. Uzola 7 was like our Tupac here. The way he was super talented, actor, music, he touched people's lives in real time in 3 days. We loved Zola 7. And then he got crucified. But he hasn't resurrected. You have to resurrect. You have to be a phoenix. Once you become a phoenix, your biggest haters are like, fuck you, I hated you. Whatever you're doing, I will support it. I will give you all the money. I'll pledge, I'll give you all my savings. I saw you fucking fail spectacularly. Everyone wrote you off. You were in prison. You came back. Who the fuck are you? Whatever you're doing, let's do it. So those are some of the paths some of us are on. And
so you're ready to die? That's what you're saying?
No.
Because I've died, but I was butchered by my own hometown. I think I spoke about this.
Yeah.
And of course, the same people now are, what you're saying is coming back with different, like, who are you? Aren't you the same person that was saying that, I knew it. Let's kill it. Then get lesbian on top of that.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
You
saw what Nelson Mandela did, bro.
Yeah,
that was like, he was both Moses and Jesus in one.
Yeah.
Because he was meant to be leading us to the promised land.
Yes.
As like oppressed black people, which unfortunately the ANC is like not the best arc out there. But he was also Jesus in that he came out, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do.
Yeah.
It disarmed the most racist white people. You need to make your haters become your biggest ambassadors. Where they're like, fuck. Because I can tell you now, most white people in South Africa know that Nelson Mandela is a bigger person than they can ever be. And that now makes you tremble like, fuck, I don't know anymore. Yes, I'm racist. Yes, blacks are annoying. But I know Nelson Mandela is bigger than me, bigger than my grandfather, bigger than my dad. We could never do what he did after what he lost. Sorry. Go for it.
It's okay. It's okay. Yes, see. You see, this is my list, ne? I didn't touch 2 questions.
You want to list the questions?
I didn't.
Can I tell you a question?
No,
Can I tell you something?
No, wait.
Let
Let me finish this.
I wanted to
right?
give a shout out to like a gent.
The reason why I didn't touch anything. You see, this is the list of bullet because I'm all over all over. I'm from Bonesa, but I'll show you later.
Guys have been deprived.
The thing is,
knowledge.
you've covered what I wanted to say. I only asked you 2 questions, but you've covered everything here. Literally,
Hectic.
from 2 questions. That's why I say a smart mind. I would any day. Like, I don't ask people that are smart, how much should I pay you? I'm like, how much would you like to get paid?
Yeah. Smart people don't understand money, so you can exploit them.
No, smart people, and if you give a smart person what they think their value is, they will give you way beyond
100%.
whatever you
100%.
I've touched in a lot, and I think we have enough, ne? Boys. Thank you. I just want to end with this, ne?
Are we ending?
We can sit here the whole night, but unfortunately,
I need to tell these 2 quick stories.
My expensive cameras and my crew. 2 stories. What are we talking about? 2 stories. Hit. But no. Don't hit too long. Guys, listen. How far they?
BA pushers depriving you guys, man.
Listen. We're going to have him back. You've been saying, when you say, I'm going to, this one.
I actually enjoyed
we'll have you
being a guest.
back again as a guest.
What's
Never again.
Is that me now?
Never again.
Penuel show. You come back as a...
But we're going to have you back again. I promise you, my friend. Okay? We'll have you back again. I just want...
They might be long.
Are they quite long? No. Let's not do that. I'll have you back again. I just need...
I have to mention Gavin Janssen. This is important for me.
Okay, go for it.
One of the important things when you ever visit a platform, regardless of who you are, always have at least 1, 2, 3 agendas, whatever they may be. It could be asking your family to rekindle. It could be you saying, the love of my life, please forgive me. I know I did you wrong, but like, have an agenda. It's very important. To a point where sometimes even when you ask questions, find a way to bring it back to your agenda. Free Nelson Mandela. free political prisoners. All the Apla prisoners must be released. Gavin Janssen is one of my favorite high school stories. Colored guy, went to a high school which was competing with mine called Ferrum High. I was at Newcastle High. We went to the same primary school, Newcastle Senior Primary. Gavin was incredibly talented. He's not the only one. There was a guy called Usihle Buthelezi at Sarel Salia, Basel. There was a guy called Umina Masondo at Word called Freid High. These are the guys that I admired when I was at school. And this is what kind of made me dope at school, because those were the guys I was looking up to. Gavin was not sent to the right school. Otherwise, he would have been one of the greatest athletes that South Africa's ever had. I look at Springboks like Cheslin Colby, Kurtley Arendse, Lucanio Wade van Niekerk, Brian Habana, and I'm like, that could have been Gavin. Gavin ran, I think his best time was maybe 10.8, 10.7, 10.6 in the 100 meters, which is insane. Running barefoot on grass, not even wearing spikes on tartan track. It's interprovincial athletics. Gavin comes through. I was there for my little 400, 800 meters because I thought I was fastnyana as well, representing. Gavin comes through. He's had a crazy night, smoking weed, drunk. He arrives in the morning. He's only there for, I think, the 110 meter hurdles and the 100 meters and maybe the 200. He comes and he fucking passes out, lying in the sun, getting burnt. I'm like, is this guy going to be able to run today? Oh, last night was fucking hectic. What? Later on in the afternoon, men's under 100 meters. We have to wake him up. Gavin, it's time to do heats. Yo, brah, I'm fucking tired. What? Are you going to be able to run? I don't know, brah. Hey, let me go and fucking showers all day in the bathrooms. I'm like, this guy's going to smoke weed. At that time, I was very judgmental. I was like, this is fucking disgusting. This guy's drunk. He's a high school student. He's high. Goes, smokes a blunt, comes back, he's a bit alive. He's wearing an oversized vest. Doesn't have a starting block, doesn't have spikes, and he starts stretching nyana. The rest of the athletes that are serious have been stretching the whole day. People know 100-meter athletes. They're arrogant, they've got their headphones. Listening to fucking Eminem or whoever they're listening to, you know. What's that Eminem track? That one that he does in 8 Mile.
You gotta move and down to my
You only get one shot.
Go one
You
shot.
only get one shot. So
So
Gavin's not doing all of that. Gavin goes, bro. I'm going to watch him because I'm a fan. I know he's fast. I go to the stands. Gavin's warming up. All the other guys have like starting blocks and spikes. And he's there in his oversized vest and he gets ready, set, and the gun goes off. For the first 10 meters, he gets left behind. And then as the race goes, by halfway, it was like he was flying off the air. And he broke the interprovincial record on that day. It's a day I'll never forget because, like I'm saying, if he'd gone to another school, he would have been one of the greatest athletes we have. And every time I'm with high school kids, especially kids with dreams, kids that want a podcast, kids that want to be Springboks, whatever, I just think of how we're all kind of letting them down in various ways. And then the reason I'm telling this story is because so many parents don't have the ability and don't understand that every single child has a superpower. We're not all going to be academics. Every child has a superpower. Something that makes them stand out amongst other kids. Gavin was a phenomenal athlete. There was a day I went to go and watch him play rugby. I got there second half. Then they substituted him. He was walking around the field looking lazy. I'm like, I said, did Gavin play well? They're like, oh, he scored like 4 tries. I'm like, yes, that's this guy. I wished I had his body, his athleticism, because I was focused. We need to find children's superpowers and we need to invest our everything in it. I saw an amazing TikTok clip. This guy was saying, Serena and Venus Williams were not given an option when they were young. Their father said, you will become tennis players and become the greatest to do it. Joe Jackson, when he did the Jackson 5 or the Jacksons, Michael Jackson, his father didn't give him options. Lewis Hamilton, same thing. There are so many kids that at a young age, the parents sees Tiger Woods and his dad. You see that? I think my child is really funny. I think my child really can grasp information quick and they're really good at it. And you must zero in on that shit and put your everything Ronaldinho was signed, I think, at age 9. I think Lionel Messi probably the same. Parents out there, and if you don't have the ability, ask teachers, ask someone else. I was listening to this guy, Penn. He was chilling with B.A. Pusher. And Penn said every single child has a superpower, which I'm not really sure of. I'm going to ask the teachers, I'm going to ask their friends, what is really dope about your friend? Oh, he'll see us. Hey, mama, he's fast. We are share song like scale. Yo, Mauswegi. You know, every time he tells a story, everyone stops. Everyone stops. So then, so and you're like, this child's got a gift. I'm going to spend the rest of my life forcing this child to do maths, forcing them to play sports. This is not what they're into. And I can find what they're fucking brilliant at. And like, I don't want to lose more kids like Gavin Janssen because they were not put on the path to become Siya Kolisi. I don't know what Siya Kolisi's academics are like. I don't know if he was good at maths. I don't know if he was good at band. I don't know if he can sing. I know he does Gwicho now, but I think we are Bimba. But someone kind of saw that this boy, his physique, LeBron James, his physique, the way he is with people, this is what he is. And we need to find an environment for him to fucking thrive and become the greatest he can be. And that's one of the things I'm really passionate about with my own children and with other children out there, to try and figure out what is your superpower? What's dope? What's weird about you? That if we were to magnify, they will be like, this kid is really weird. But I can't stop watching. I can't stop listening. Why do you walk like that? Why do you draw like that? What are you doing?
Why do you speak like that?
Why do you speak like that? And you're like, oh, you're going to remember me. You want to fucking remember me. Because this is what's dope about me. That's the story I'm going to leave with.
Pen, thank you so much for honoring me, man. I know how busy we get. I think this was supposed to happen a long time ago. I just want to say a couple of things before you leave, because I think people don't understand between an interview and a debate, and I try to stay away from things. I let people speak when they come to the podcast. Not to have my opinion, but just to listen to how people think, and whatever I disagree with or agree with in my head should be that. It should be whoever is watching this to go to the comment section and say, okay, that part, this part, or whatever, right? Because we do it when you do interviews, which I've watched other podcasts. I'm like, are you the interviewer or the interviewee? Like, what's going on, right? I just want to say this before you leave. Don't stop what you're doing. People like you should never ever stop what they're doing. There are people that I would love them to stop what they're doing. Like, just stop.
Don't
it.
stop.
Just stop what you're doing.
Stop.
You know, the room is enough, but people like you, please don't stop what you're doing. Like I said, my first, when you watch someone for the first time, Facebook, I think I told you this. I was like, who is this asshole? This guy is such a, I've never thought in my wildest dream that we'll actually be sitting like this, right? Even with DJ's Brew, I was like, I've looked up to him for so long, and now I have him on WhatsApp, and things change. People like you should never stop what they're doing, because there is not enough thinkers, leaders, thought leaders like yourself. And there is no amount of cancel culture that could have a Penuel or you see now, I don't even have names. That's how crazy, right?
Is enough.
That is crazy, right? It's hard to come on this podcast and listen to someone and be so interested in, especially for me, and they're not talking about money or ways to make money and how to, and I was captured the whole time. Keep that up. I don't know how far. I don't know how far we're going to maintain it, but thank you so much for coming, my brother. I appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing. You see, I've gone black too. I might join the
happiness.
Yeah, no. I've stopped with the brands. See, I learned somewhere. I've stopped with the brands.
It's not good for business, but
it's not. It's not good for business, but these brands anyway.
Baba Zilintrapo, man. I've been wanting to sit with you, and to be fully honest, it won't happen because we don't have time. I wish I could sit with you every week. There are so many kids out there who haven't seen your videos. It could be anything. And it could change their lives. So I don't know, maybe the homework for me, which I probably won't even do anyways, to get like some of your dopest videos on just how to make a little bit of money doing this and going there, and maybe reposting them every month and trying to hack schools and get kids in schools to share these videos. Like say, are you guys trying to make $2,000 a month, $5,000 a month? Please watch these videos, and where possible, maybe we can translate them in other languages, isiZulu, Xhosa, Xitsonga, Sepedi, whatever, and be like, hey, for every kid, maybe in grade 8, part of school is all of us go through this thing of watching these videos, so that if you ever need money, don't go bug your parents. Here's the catalog of how to make money, and then just find something that works for you, and then take it from there and watch them over and over and over again. You're underappreciated, and I hope at some point some of the videos you've made specifically go very, very far. Maybe I'll say this as well. There was a guy on TikTok who once said there was a video of his that went viral. He said it went very viral. So let's say maybe it does something like 10 million views. He said it took me 15 times to post this video for it to go viral. He's like, when you make a video that you know is really important, repost it as many times as possible until it goes viral, but keep reposting. Don't be like, and I thought this video do well, but it did like 20,000 views. Okay. Repost it. There's someone that's going to see it for the first time, and then it will catch a flame. If the video is important enough, I mean, I've decided every year I'm going to do young girls going to the big city for the first time.
Love it.
I'm going to post it every year for kids that are leaving matric. Every time there's a State of the Nation address, I'm going to do a State of the home address. So you know the country's economy, you know we've got jobs, but in your home, how much did you make last year? How much did you lose last year? Have you guys got a new home? Did you create jobs? What is your education like? What is your health like at home? Have a State of the home address. Who's in charge of your home? Who's the president of your home?
Love it.
And then there's a couple of others at specific times that I will bring them back until they're ingrained in people. Ingrained with, oh shit, I've never heard this before. What? He posts this every year. It's like, it's fine. Someone needs to see it for the first time. So thank you for the work you're doing, man, in trying to get people to like, in this money world, to learn how to get like a piece of their own. And on behalf of all the kids out there that you've inspired to make money, I just want to say thank you, man. And thank you for inviting me. I'm a huge fan of yours, and I'm honored and I'm humbled to be here.
Thank you so much, my brother. So
Yeah.
let's drink to that. I think before we close it, I need a behind the scenes. I said this before. I need a behind the scenes, and I'll do everything that you just said. I will do it. Like, guys, that's my pledge. That's his pledge. We need behind the scenes of Penuel. My butt.
No pledge.
Thank
for
you so
me.
much. I want a hug. Come smell me. Come smell me.
Cut.
Come smell. Don't
Cut.
cut this. Don't cut this. Do not cut
Cut.
this. Do not cut this.
So inappropriate. There are children watching.
Give me a. If I was straight.
We don't show on camera, it's cut off.
It's cut off your car.
Did she just say what I heard? That's so inappropriate.
No, I'm just saying. If I had to, like, that's the only thing.
Don't
I would
say it
have for
again.
me. Don't act like you
Don't
don't
say it
want
again.
this. Yeah, you see, boys. When
Are you about to say it again?
Don't do that.
Are you about to say it again?
Come on now, pen.
Are you about to say it again? Don't say it again.
Ngayenzi njalo.
Please.
Oh, that was amazing. All right, guys. Thank you so